Mega Man X, the savior of the Mega Man franchise, that kept the Blue Bomber from petering out on the NES. Mega Man X 1 through 4 are awesome. Freaking awesome. When Mega Man X3 is the worst game in your set of games, you have an amazing set of games. But then, after 1997's Mega Man X4, times changed. 2D gaming on consoles was no longer seen as viable. Markets shifted, and so did game company priorities. Mega Man X4 was made by a group of veteran developers who were experts in the field of making 2D games. They are to make a 2D game that would be a beautiful swan song. A last hurrah to the second dimension on consoles, before 3D took over, and Dimension number 2 was relegated to more or less portable only. 3 years later, in the new millennium, Mega Man X5 would stumble onto the scene, this time as a budget game for PlayStation 1, released after the PS2 had already come out, made by a B team who didn't quite know what they were doing. Mega Man's first, kinda mediocre mainline game. Mega Man 1 through 8, Mega Man X 1 through 4, and the entirety of Mega Man Legends. The golden age of this franchise coming to an end with this slightly half-assed 5th X game. It's like after winning Employee of the Month, X showed up to work drunk before flashing his ass at human resources. But oh man, would it get so much worse. Because after this, we'd get Mega Man X6, and then Mega Man X7, where X showed up drunk after plowing through a parade of kids. Mega Man X8 was the attempt at rehab. Today on Juice Desserts, Mega Man X6 and X7. Oh God, both of these games are miserable experiences. The bottom of the barrel for the Blue Bomber. They're both so bad that I honestly keep going back and forth as to which is the worst Mega Man X game. So I replayed them, and we're gonna figure this out right now. So sit down and buckle up, kiddos, because Daddy's had a few too many, and this thing ain't gonna drive itself. 2001's Mega Man X6 for the first PlayStation. After Mega Man X5 did surprisingly well sales-wise, Capcom commissioned the sequel, without series artist and producer Keiji Inafune having any involvement. And this team that clearly didn't know what the fuck they were doing slapped together a game in less than a year. And it shows. Oh God, does it ever show. It shows so much.
Way too fucking much.
Not that a good game can't be made in a few months, mind you. Mega Man 7 is great, and that was only done in 3 months, for example. But that team knew their shit. Meanwhile, X6 is like blatantly unfinished. And I know a thing or two about not finishing things. If I finished learning how to drive, then I wouldn't have run over that pregnant lady. Yes, see, Mega Man X6 is blatantly unfinished. Game's basically the beta of itself. Level design in X6 revolves around throwing everything at you, with little thought put into whether or not if it's actually even fair. At a certain point, I just stopped dodging all the shit flying at me and gave up. I just sat there and took it.
Yeah, hurt me good, X6.
Then there's getting locked into areas that are virtually impossible without the right equipment. Like when you stumble into a secret area that you can't exit out of until you either game over or defeat this here boss bastard named High Max. And Max here is literally invincible without the right weapons. On more than one occasion, I ended up in this situation with maximum lives thanks to X6's rescuable Reploid mechanic, and I just gave up and
Kill me, 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 kill me. Put your fucking gun in my mouth and pull the fucking trigger!
Or here, in Blaze Heatnix's stage, which is loaded to the brim with these giant Ouroboros donut enemies that are basically unbeatable without Falcon Armor's Giga Attack or Zero's Rekoha. So many donuts. Way too many donuts.
Way too fucking many donuts.
With having shit you straight up can't do unless you come prepared, X6 is almost like a Metroidvania. A shitty Metroidvania. Mega Man would end up doing that better eventually, though, with the ZX series. So just play that instead if that's what you're looking for. Plus, ZX has that L chick and her sexy tomboy ass. Skin-tight body suits. I'm a fucking whip my dick out right the fuck now. There's even a way to get to the final stages without beating all 8 bosses, but you can't get past the first room because of these spike walls unless you have the right stuff anyway, so what's even the fucking point? Hell, get your sexy tomboy ass over here, my dick needs you. Making the second half of one of the last levels almost unbeatable with X's shadow armor, while making the first half be basically designed around it, should be a damned war crime. The gate stages are an insufferable experience, full of spikes and poorly placed placed enemies made to give you a damned aneurysm. My blood pressure literally started spiking because of this shit. I ain't even kidding. Furthermore, the game features stage modifiers known as the Nightmare System. Yeah, better name would be the rolling nude through shards of glass system. The thorny rose stem shoved in your urethra system. This garbage is a bunch of special effects that'll change levels in ways reminiscent of other levels. Fireballs falling from the sky after visiting the volcano stage, or annoying bugs hovering around the player that block shots after visiting the dragonfly boss's jungle stage, for example. Way too many fireballs. Way too many bugs.
Way too fucking many fireballs and
Yeah, and most infuriatingly is when half the screen goes dark because your dumbass decided to visit the laser-themed level. I can't see shit. Who thought this was a good idea? These nightmare effects are less about increasing difficulty and more about just blatantly annoying the player. And boy, am I fucking annoyed. Jesus Christ. This game is just sloppy. Like, look at some of these stage gimmicks. Here in Metal Shark Player? What the MP3 player here's stage is just Dustman's from Mega Man 4. Except now it's trash. You get it? Trash? I'm trying to go, but the game keeps expecting me to stop more than that lady I ran over. And they even bring this mechanic back at the end of the game when playing as Zero.
L, come save me with your ass.
Why am I bouncing lasers off mirrors now? The only bouncing I want to see is Alia's big robot titties. Some of these weapons are pretty damn stupid too. Zero's Sentsuizan attack is a move that while he's in the air, forces Zero down to the ground. Down to the ground. When you press the attack button while holding up. And usually all it does is force you down into a pit and kill you. Screw Zero, man. The only blonde robot I want forced down is Alien. You can't fire through walls in this game either. So at least one of the Yamar option here's shots will just not even make it past the floor you're standing on, unless you're jumping. Which, by the way, how the hell is that fair? When these virus enemies can fire through walls while you can't. Or just straight up go through walls, making you helplessly watch as their tentacles violate one of the Reploids you need to rescue to get the parts that you need to actually beat the damn game. But with all that said, it's hard to explain, but you see, for everything wrong with this game, and there's a lot wrong, so much wrong.
Way too fucking much wrong.
At the end of the day, X6 is still built on the fantastic Mega Man X4. The game doesn't even start out bad. Like, the opening stage is actually pretty damn good, in fact. These surprise drills near the end aside, you don't actually realize the game is terrible until you've slowly eased into it and really sink your teeth into this crap sandwich. X6 is an absolute shit show of poor, half-finished design. And yet, playing the first 5 X games sort of prepares you for it too. Something I just cannot say about Mega Man X7. 2003's Mega Man X7, the first 3D Mega Man game that did involve Tron Bonne and her sexy tsundere ass. And I gotta tell you, this game is just... While Mega Man X6 is built on the foundation of X4, and actually starts off pretty good, especially if you're eased into it by playing the earlier X games first, nothing preps you for the shitfest that is Mega Man X7. You start X6, and yay, it's fun, until it isn't. But then you get to X7, and the very instant gameplay begins, just immediately right out of the gate, it fucking sucks. You start moving Axel? We'll get to that. And bam! You know, right then and there, your ass is in for a bigger bad time than dropping the soap in a Detroit prison. What the hell even is this, Capcom? Pick a lane. Be 2D or 3D. Don't do both, because you're just gonna be bad at both. I didn't pick a lane and then I hit that pregnant lady. Ratchet & Clank was out at this point, right? And while I never played that series, but it seems like it'd be the best way to translate Mega Man into 3D, right? God forbid they had used the analog sticks to move and aim. Then it would have played like an actual third-person shooter, and Mr. Jump and Shoot Man can't do that, apparently. No, the right analog stick switches your weapons, because there is no aiming. You lock onto things to shoot them, instead of lining up a shot by jumping. You know, defeating the whole purpose of the jumping part of the whole jump and shoot formula, at least when it comes to attacking enemies. You kept the 2D segments and didn't even understand the entire point of the jumping and shooting. It's supposed to be you shooting straight ahead and jumping to aim, man. It works since 1987. Why did you decide to mess this up now? The franchise became a 16-year-old and immediately started doing drugs. And lock-on in X7 is pointless 99% of the time anyway. You'll probably want to shoot whatever enemy is closest to you and thus poses the biggest risk, right? Well, that's who you'll be locked onto automatically when you fire, so you're not going to be switching targets in most fights. The few times lock-on is required, it'll just be as a tacked-on gimmick while you're doing something stupid that's there only to justify the lock-on's inclusion. Like when targeting parts of a door that have to be hit at a certain time in order to open it, for example. Stupid shit like that. Or sometimes the lock-on is a janky mechanic that barely even works right. Like when shooting laser traps to avoid damage, which is only like twice in the entire game, by the way. And yet, this idea is used to sell the lock-on mechanic before anything else in the game. It's comical. Something janky that's pointlessly thrown in to justify a new mechanic basically sums up Mega Man X7 in a nutshell, which is as good a time as any to segue into talking about asshole. Oh, wait, I mispronounced his name. It's actually Axel. I'm not being fair. Axel isn't a terrible character by any stretch, but by this point in the franchise, X and Zero had proven themselves more than enough to carry a series. Hell, series is plural, as Mega Man Zero had already began by the time Mega Man X7 came out, with X7 and Zero 2 even coming out on the exact same day in North America, and both featuring a giant mecha scorpion as the intro boss, and an abysmally bad level involving jumping from small fighter plane to small fighter plane in order to get to a mothership. But I digress. My point is that Axel was not needed. Axel felt like an insult, because replacing the main character with a young, fresh upstart is something that could kill franchises if done wrong, and replace he did, because in Mega Man X7, Mega Man X has gone full pussy fest, and retired for no good damn reason. You're forced to play as the upstart scrappy dude that is Axel, alongside a struggling at the end of his rope Zero, trying to pick up the slack in the Maverick Hunters because of X's midlife crisis. Yeah, that's right, you don't play as Mega Man X in a Mega Man X game. What the fuck? You unlock X later at least, if you rescue enough Reploids or clear all 8 Maverick levels, whichever comes first, and doing so almost renders Axel pointless. Almost. Besides Axel's admittedly useful, invincible dodge roll, X just straight up renders Axel almost obsolete. Even the entire point of Axel as a character, his ability to shapeshift into other Reploids, really only comes into play to rescue a few select Reploids here and there. And hilariously, you can't even deactivate the transformation and turn back until the energy for it runs out. It's a freaking joke. ZX Advent allows the A-Trans ability to actually turn you into bosses, without having to sit and slowly shoot enemies with your weak-ass copy shot first. If you can only turn into enemies by finishing them off with a slow, weak-ass copy shot, why not have them have health bars, damn it? It's too damn easy to accidentally kill an enemy with your actual good attacks while trying to soften them up for Axel. Stupid fucking spiky-haired piece of shit. Plus, you know, I prefer playing as X because the fact that it's supposed to be X's damn series. Zero stole the show already. Now we gotta have this ginger stepchild also taking a spotlight on top of it. Poor X, man. Just poor X. Not poor enough to be this big of a pussy, but still. Now, let's talk about rescuing Reploids. This mechanic first showed up in X5, where the Reploids were essentially only items to pick up. X6 expanded on this idea by making every Reploid unique, sometimes with permanent power-ups. And also, they could permanently die and take that power-up with them. What the fuck? Thankfully, they can only be harmed by virus enemies, so as long as one ain't around, you're good. But in X7, getting hit by anything once kills them immediately. These stupid bastards are more fragile than that lady I ran over. And just like in X6, these guys can have permanent power-ups. So a good chunk of gameplay in X7 is madly rushing towards one of these Reploids the second you see one, because you don't know if that's one of the ones with a power-up. This is maybe the worst part of this game. If rescuing weren't a factor, Mega Man X7 might legitimately be twice as good. Not that that's saying much, but on the other hand, without these Reploids to frantically rescue, the level design of X7 is... There's so much room in the 3D segments to just run past enemies and be completely unharmed. Without the Reploid rescuing, X7 would just be running past enemies. And with it, X7 is just stressing over saving those Reploids. So Mega Man X7 is either boring or an assault on your senses. One or the other. You can't win. All of a sudden running over people saves them? But when I do it, the only saving that happens is the paramedics saving that stupid baby. Welcome to Student Driver Simulator, here in Ride-Borsky's level, featuring the Ride Chaser, the Mega Man X series' motorcycle vehicle. It first premiered in Mega Man X2, and was kinda shit there. And carrying on that tradition, it's kinda shit in every game it appears in. Maybe not in X4, but this level featuring it is so bad, I just have to single it out. Ride-Borsky's level. You're driving a Ride Chaser down a highway, running over Reploids to rescue him, and grabbing bombs that, if you don't collect them all in time, they explode, and you die. Oh no, my Explodium! And the best part is you can't back up if you miss anything. So you'll just have to go all the way back around for another chance. Only to miss it again because this controls like ass. Then you get to the actual boss fight and... You punk! Oh no.
The voices in my head, they won't fall silent.
The sickness is already in its late stages. I don't think he'll come quietly.
These fights suck. Like Ride-Borsky's here, the eye in the sky camera makes it impossible to gauge your own jump height. So jumping over the guy and the garbage he spams is too damn hard. And that's the entire mechanic of the fight. Snipe Anteater, his stage sucks and makes no sense either, by the way. He hides out of range from your attacks while he spams the field with missiles and lasers that do a lot of damage. Way too much damage.
Way too fucking much damage.
And his weakness is too hard to hit him with in this 3D space. And it barely makes a dent in his life bar. Because game design, so many fights in this game are garbage. Stop going invincible over and over, you stupid crab-ass motherfucker. Like this opening stage boss. I can't tell what is and isn't a hitbox. The feedback is weird. Hell, everything feels weird in this game. You'll get hit by things you thought you dodged and then get knocked to the ground. While you're like this, you can't move either. It's as if the game walked over and slapped the controller out of your hand as punishment. Wow, I'm having so much fun! Just use Zero's Thunder Tornado Uppercut move on everything in this game. Trust me on that. It's basically the game's Metal Blade or Storm Tornado. Screw almost everything else, man. Because game design... Zero! He and his swordplay went from basically feeling like a samurai to looking like... Star Wars kid. At least he can deflect bullets. That's actually awesome. Props to X7, I'll be damned. But what even are some of these animations? Look at X's glide armor, for example. Watch it do the very thing it's named after. It's so damn dinky, you can't help but want to stuff X into a locker. Yeah, Dr. Light, I'll make sure to only use gliding for good, as opposed to gliding evilly. Mwahaha! X7 just looks bad. X8 and Command Mission trounce it. Hell, the Mega Man Legends games on PS1 do too. I'd rather just talk about them. Tronbon is fucking hot. Shut the hell up, X7, and just let me stage select! You can play as two characters here you can freely switch between, which is cool, but if one character dies, that's it. You're dead. Even if the other character is ready and raring to go with full health. Mega Man X8 would fix this. Mostly. But then Mega Man X8 would fix most of X7. Aside from the level design, what the fuck? Stop giving me constant text tutorials and confirmations, you stupid piece of shit! Also, you don't share health and weapon energy power-ups between these three characters, just like in Mega Man X5 and X6. Whoever grabs a completely silent power-up with no sound effect is the one who actually gets stronger. So by the time you do get X, you'll probably want to still use Axel, because he and Zero hogged all the weapon energy and health ups. X usually won't even have enough weapon energy to finish bosses off with their weaknesses, which is like the entire entire damned point of Mega Man? Apparently, the Japanese and UK versions of this game are easier, because every attack of yours in the North American version does less damage? Maybe I should play one of those versions then. Then the game might feel less slow. But then again, the only time the US version of X7 having double health for everything really matters is when trying to use Axel's stupid copy shot. But that damn thing is poorly designed anyway, so what's the point? What's the point of anything in this game? In this entire miserable world? Nothing matters, so why even bother? X7 seemed to have more time in the oven compared to X6, but the final product is just boring and janky, instead of unpolished and unbalanced. So, like, to answer the question of which is worse, I have to give it to Mega Man X7. I hate playing both of these stupid garbage dumps of a pair of games, but if I'm gonna pick my poison, Mega Man X6 at least starts out good, like I said. But man, this was such a close call, one I really could not make until I replayed both of these games for this video. So whatever, go play Mega Man X6, I guess. Or don't. Ain't nobody made it this far into a video about playing two garbage games anyway, man. Life is too short to waste time on this shit. Do something productive with your time before you get old and miserable like me. Oh God!